Looking at the progress for voting rights in Virginia compared with the continued trampling of civil rights in North Carolina. Back with Reverend Dr. William Barber of North Carolina, and Ben Jealous, the NAACP. And Reverend, what I wanted to ask you was, you're talking about this moral framework, and we talk about the moral framework the coalition built in Virginia through a lot of hard work and organizing of different constituencies to get this felon disenfranchisement policy changed. Are you having success getting people from the other part of the aisle, across the aisle, conservatives, to join in this, or is this just a liberal movement at this point?
Well, the current legislature is so extreme, but in the streets we are, because what we've done over the last few years, we built a coalition rooted in the notion of the common good and rooted in the moral principles of how do you treat the least of these. You know, if you look at the scriptures, more is said about how we treat the poor and how we treat the least of these than any other subject. We've seen blacks and whites and labor and people of faith and civil rights come together. We have 147 organizations along with 100 branches of the NAACP, and we're taking a comprehensive view. We have to change the way in which we approach public policy. There's some things that are bigger than Democrat and Republican and who has a majority. It's this common good, the general welfare, establishing justice, caring for your neighbor. Those are the kind of constitutional and moral vision that we must bring to this discussion today. And if we do, and we're vigilant at it, we can change the flow of politics.
But also that all is very appealing to me. But it seems to me that in the South particularly, right, a lot of this are the politics of race in the 21st century, race in the Obama era, where you have a situation in which the Republican Party has a lock on the South, where there's a white majority, but that white majority is much slimmer than other places, and they recognize very clearly that if African American voters in particular mobilize, register, and turn out, that their hold on power is very tenuous.
But this is where the evangelical movement in the South gives us opportunity to actually eat away at the old divisions, because you have people who are black and white showing up in many of these charismatic churches together on Sunday.
Yeah, you see it right there. You can see the faces.
No, and when I sat with Governor Bob McDonnell 3 years ago, what became clear is that both of us, who are people of faith, believe in the right to redemption.
Right.
And that's where we connected. And Reverend Young, who leads the Virginia NAACP, his movement very much pushing for this right. And so we were able to come together, right and left, and say we believe in redemption. We may not have a whole lot of other values in common.
Right, but you've got that.
But we got this in common, so we'll move forward on that.
And look at the pictures. We're winning. We're not depressed. You look at those pictures, 40% of people
I got to
white.
say, the headlines that come out of North Carolina do not make me think, man, we are winning. Right. They make me think we are getting our butts kicked all over the place because the stuff they are passing is so aggressive.
It is, but the moment will pass. We are being attacked because we won.
What do you mean by won?
We passed same-day registration. We put together a coalition of blacks and whites, shared values, and that's how we won same-day. That's how you got Obama. That's how you're getting a new electorate. And the people that are fighting these extremists, they know that there is a new electorate afoot with 25%, right, black, white, LGBT, Latino, and that new electorate produces holes in the solid South.
And let's be clear here. They're not just fighting people of color, they're fighting their own children.
Right.
Because we're talking about people of color of all ages, but we're also talking about young people of all races.
Right.
And that's what's coming together.
And poor folks of all races. I mean, there are poor white folks in the South, right? There's poor white folks who aren't going to get Medicaid on North Carolina.
That's the myth of extremism, that they think that these services like Medicaid, the way they promote it is that it's helping a certain group, or they make it a race element. But what we're exposing, 500,000 people, that's immoral, and it's bad public policy, and it's hurting blacks, whites, Republican, and Democrat. We're doing 25 tours using this document, and we've had a house full of people every day on our tour, blacks and whites coming together saying this is wrong.
Well, and this is really, in many ways, the great transformative hope of the South.
Yeah, that's why the Virginia-North Carolina story is so fascinating, right? You are talking the old Confederacy. You're talking the South, right? And you're also talking a place that Barack Obama won twice in a row, and North Carolina, which he won once and narrowly lost the second time. And that's the place where you can see the vision of promise of the new South.
Well, and let's be really clear. This law in Virginia that we just put this massive dent in this week, when it was put in place, the man who put it in place, the delegate who pushed for it in 1901, said, because of this plan, the darky shall be eliminated as a factor in our state's politics in less than 5 years. And so part of what you heard from the governor was frankly, his shame about that history.
Yep.
Chris, you're not fought this hard if you're weak.
Yep.
They are fighting this hard because
That's
a
a
new
great
South
point.
is coming.
Reverend Dr. William Barber and NAACP President Ben Jealous. Thank you, gentlemen. That was great. That is all in for this evening. The Rachel Maddow Show starts right now.